Good morning. My name is Wayne Dyer, and in 1 month, no, in 2 weeks, I'll be 73 years old. Woo! And I have sex almost every day. Almost on Monday, almost on Tuesday, almost on Wednesday, almost. That's from my friend Jack LaLanne, who passed away last year, who was 93 years old, and that's how he always opened his talks, so that's in his memory. And this is a rose. And one of the great teachers in my life is a man named Mevlana, which means our master, Jalaluddin Rumi, the great Persian poet from the 13th century. He said, what was said to the rose that made it open, he was speaking to God. What was said to the rose that made it open was said to me here in my chest when I met you. Isn't that beautiful? Would you like that? From Rumi. And that's interesting. There's much to contemplate in that short line. That there is something invisible that speaks to the rose. And that something is beyond anything that we're capable of comprehending with our minds, physically or mentally. It's an invisibleness, an intelligence that is always speaking. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. Isn't that beautiful? And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. So this is a morning for blossoming, for no longer remaining tight in a bud. June 26th of this past year, I thought that I was done with writing for a while. I had published a new book, Wishes Fulfilled. Many of you have read it, I see, because I saw you carrying it in here. It was a public television special, and it was based upon some of the most profound teachings that I have ever encountered in my life. The teachings of Neville and U.S. Anderson and St. Francis, all of them came together in this book on the power of the imagination to be able to be used to be able to create and manifest and attract virtually anything that we place our attention on. And I thought, finally now I can take a rest, because that was my 40th book. Yeah, thank you. And I often say to myself, when do you have to stop proving yourself? When can you finally just get it, that it's okay, you don't have to do anymore? Listen to what it is you tell your audiences. You know, you're not a human doing, you're a human being. Just be, and just let go, and allow. And that was June the 26th. On June the 27th, I sat down and began writing. And my children, and I have 8 of them, 6 girls and 2 boys, and they've been among my greatest teachers. I'm so honored to have been allowed to be a father to these beautiful children. And they were all arriving. I have a beautiful home on Maui, and thank you for that. And I mean that very, very sincerely. I am in a deep state of gratitude every day for all of the wonders that have shown up in my life. Many of you know, grew up in an orphanage in Mount Clemens, Michigan. And it would have been never predicted that I would be able to accomplish and acquire so many wonderful things. So anyway, so they were all showing up to spend the next couple of months or whenever. They come on different schedules because some of them are married and have children and so on. And something happened. They arrive around the 4th of July. Almost every year we spend July and August together. And I wrote on the 27th of June for about 6 hours, and then on the 28th, and on the 29th, and then my kids started showing up, and they were really in the way. And so I actually have 2 places on Maui. Thank you. Twice, I thank you for that. But they fill up fast when my family shows up. And so everything was all filled up, and there was just no place for me to write. Oh. Hello, sweetheart. That's so beautiful. What a wonderful sound. And so I had to go over and rent a place. I have 2 places on Maui, one for writing and one for living, and they were filling it all up. And they had all kinds of plans for me. You know, come on, Dad, we want to go do this, we're going to do that, we're going to go surfing, we're going to go look at we're going to go to Haleakala, we're going to go to the other side, we want to do all of these things. And all I wanted to do was write. So I rented a place for 2 months at a cost of $32,000, literally. On Maui, where we live, nightly rentals run around more than I can even imagine. And there I was paying to have a place where I could go, and they would keep saying, come on, Dad, we're going to do this and do that, and I'd always just head off and write. And I wrote all of June and all of July and all of August and all of September, and for the next 4 or 5 months, all by hand, just allowing it to flow, allowing it to come through me. It's one of the I was giving an interview in New York many years ago to the New York Times, and they were also, the same person who was interviewing me was interviewing Arthur Miller. Arthur Miller, the very famous American playwright, who wrote The Crucible, and of course you all remember Willy Loman and Death of a Salesman. Great plays to read now that you don't have to, and you're not going to have a test on it. And Arthur Miller, one of the greatest playwrights from this part of the world ever, and he was 91 years old. And the interviewer was asking him, are you working on another play?
Sample complete. Ready to continue?